Hello, hello again. Hello. Back for another recording session. I'm going to try to push through the rest of the episodes in one sitting here. So let's go ahead and get started. We tried Mooney last time and we got pretty far in the game. Unfortunately we did lose on the last boss. Probably had like 10 health left to get, for the boss, but that's all right. Our goals are still going to be the same here. We still do want to beat the last difficulties here. We have Astrea level 6 and the rest of the anomaly levels, which goes up to 10, I believe. So we still have a few of those. But let's go ahead and try to get an Astrea run going again. And I want to pick somebody like Sothis or Orion, because I do think these guys have the potential to be some of the stronger characters. At least in my experience playing the game so far. We're going to try just getting through Astrea's heart again with Sothis instead of somebody like Solarius or Astra or something like that. And we'll go ahead and just turn off anomaly level like we did before. Make it a little bit more realistic. And there is a Sothis achievement that we could go for during this run. But it seems like I've kind of noticed this before, but this game kind of rewards you if you don't multitask. So if we just go for Astrea's heart, I think we'll have a better chance of beating it. Or if we just go for this achievement, I think we'll be able to get it pretty easily. But I think we're going to have to choose between one or the other. And we'll just have to come back for the other one later. So I kind of want to just get Astrea's heart done. So let's prepare for that. Let's try to build up a run for survivability and for damage output. So let's see what we have first. We have the Diadem of Madness, or Diadem? Diadem? Not too sure how to pronounce that. Increases purification received by all targets by 2. It increases my corruption received by 1. I can see that being good. I can also see that maybe ending our run. But not a bad choice. Draw 1 additional die per turn. And at the start of battle, gain 2 Doom. Okay. Seems reasonable, because it doesn't increase the enemy's Doom. We just have to manage our corrupt actions well, and that could work out. Increases purification received by enemies, and increases corruption received by enemies. Okay, this probably seems the most safe, but we do get only 1 extra purification instead of 2, like we do with the Diadem. Honestly, give me the Diadem, because I can imagine if we set up some kind of like affliction run or something like that, and we're applying a lot of affliction to enemies, then having them take extra corruption would not be great. So I think I'm willing to take the extra damage here, so we can set up some maybe potentially crazy runs. But let's see if we can, even start that right now. You could definitely use Rolling Stars. We did have that last run. That worked out pretty well for us. Let's see what else we can set up here. We can start setting up something to do with Soul Heat. I guess these both kind of serve into Soul Heat So yeah, let's go ahead and grab concentration. And let's pick up some other stuff that might have to do with soul heat. Probably Sunray. It's probably the best choice we have here. So hopefully with this black hole blessing we just picked up, we shouldn't have too much of an issue getting through a lot of battles, because we don't have any anomaly levels on. We don't have any anomaly levels, so you know everything's going to be a lot easier to fight here. Now, once we get to Astrea's Heart, that's a whole different story, but for now, thinking for most of the game, we're going to have a relatively easy time getting through these fights. And again, we'll just go for the boss, so we're not worried about picking up dice specific to Sothis' achievement. We'll worry about that later. What do we have here? Minimum soul heat 8. Choose a die from your discard to draw and roll. Okay. Not bad, not bad. We're gonna have to pick up some way to generate soul heat though, if we want to make use of all of these dice. Draw safe, not bad. Chanting does not fit into our build, especially with a dissolved life phase. Definitely don't want that. And none of these really fit into our build either. But I'm thinking Shield Boomerang is going to be our best bet. I just kind of clocked it that we're going to need some shields. We're going to expect to take extra damage. So, shield dice, soul heat dice, and the like, I think are going to be our friends for a lot of this run. Yeah, easy work. Easy enough. What do we have here? Serenity is always good, just to have. And we have more of these soul heat based actions here. I think early on, we can kind of forego Serenity when we don't have anomaly levels on, because again, these fights aren't going to be super tough until the very end. So we'll probably come back to something like that. We can just pick up another Serenity die when we get the chance. I did make the choice to sacrifice a heart here. Let me see what we have. Sentinels have a chance of triggering Sands of Time, with an extra chance of triggering it without decreasing Sands of Time. Okay. Definitely not bad. We're not going for a Sands of Time build, but if we happen to, you know, pick up a few of those dice, that'd be pretty neat right there. This would boost our damage even more once we get further into the run, so that's also not bad. And I don't think we really need this to draw risky dice. So we're, it's either a choice between more utilitarian. Well, not utilitarian, makes it sound political. Just more utility based Star Blessing here. We can get a bunch of rerolls on our Sentinels, maybe. Or just straight damage as we pick up more dice. To be honest, I think we're going to use this more. Because again, during that last battle, I'm already thinking ahead. Thinking we're going to have our Sentinels out of commission for most of the fight, to be honest with you. I don't think we should be relying on them all that much. Even this early. Alright, what do we have here? Minimum soul heat 0, increased soul heat to 2. Okay. We could use that. We use these. We still don't have enough to get either of these off. So I think we would want to just use Sun Ray to increase our soul heat. And then use Void Mantra. That could work. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Actually, well, that's not great. Rolling 2 actions like that is not great, but we had the idea. Alright, please don't end my run right now. I kind of forgot we're going to take a lot of extra damage. Please do not end my run right now. I'd appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and use this on the enemy to just block this damage right there. And I'm thinking we'll be safe. 7 shields should be enough. Honestly, I think I'm just going to play this and end my turn so we don't take so much damage right now. Oh, he got overcorrupted. Oh, I didn't notice that was going to happen. Well, that's on me. This is a pretty stupid play there. Noticed some obvious mistakes that I could have just not done. I noticed them too late. That's alright, though. Still got plenty of time. That didn't happen too late in the episodes, so. Just start up another run. Same goals, same aspirations, all of that. Maybe let's not pick something up that is so dangerous to us. Draw 2 additional dice per turn. You can only use 1 virtue per turn unless you refresh. Okay. Draw 1 additional die per turn. And at the start of battle, gain 3 stunned. Not bad, not bad. Draw 1 additional die per turn. And at the start of battle, apply 1 thorn to a random enemy. No, I'll go with the stunned. I could definitely see how that would, you know, work against us at some point, but I think out of those 3 black hole blessings, that was going to be the least dangerous to us. Let's see what we have here. I see affliction related stuff, some protection related stuff, which is kind of interesting, and some relief here. I say protection is interesting because as far as I know, there's not really any like defined builds that have to do with blocking buffs and protecting from that kind of thing. But I can imagine you could like scrounge up some dice, have a bunch of protection actions, and save yourself from any kind of debuffs that you would get on the field. Which is an interesting idea, but I'm not too sure I could pull that off easily. So I'm gonna wait on that maybe till another day. Now we have gained 2 sands of time for each soul heat. Just cleave or eclipse blast. Okay. I suppose we could use this, because if we're using relief, because we just picked up a relief die, we could gather a bunch of sands of time, maybe start to re-roll relief die, and get that stacked up over time. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to myself. Actually, no. That would make me lose a life. I feel like I might lose a life anyways here, but couldn't do that. Alright, no, we just got out of it. Just got out of it. Maybe try to re-roll this. I know we can't do much with the re-rolls right now, but well, that's not great. Definitely not great. Let's see, what can I do here? Gotta do some math here. So if I were to play this on myself, that would be 1 damage total. Then I would put like Affliction on myself maybe. That'd be another damage. And then it looks like this guy's gonna overcorrupt himself. That'd be another 3 damage. So I would live if I did that. But what if I did the opposite? So I play this, I overcorrupt you immediately, deal 3 damage to me, you're gonna overcorrupt yourself again, so another 3, and then Affliction I think would trigger it a 3rd time, so let's go ahead and just play this on myself. That should be fine. Should get out of here with 2 health, I think. Yeah, we lived. We lived. Well, let's keep building up relief, because it seems like that's going to be our best action here. That should do it. That should bring us to the end of the fight. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so what do we have? This will build up soul heat, so that's good for that. This will... what does this do? Apply relief to all enemies, where X is the amount of chanting you have, plus 1. Okay. I guess we could do a split relief chanting build. Otherwise, these are kind of just useful dice. They don't really support any of my build right now, but if we find some more chanting dice, we might want to pick those up. We can make use of that. And now what do we have? Sands of Time. I was just talking about how we could use that to re-roll a lot of relief and stack it on top of each other. We have some more Soul Heat actions, or deal 9 Purification and apply Torment. Probably don't want to do that. I mean, doing up to 12 Purification is great, but Torment is not. So I'll go ahead and take Sands of Time, thank you. Oh, here's some chanting. Here we go. Deal chanting to an enemy, draw a die. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick that up. Then we have Rolling Stars, Sandstorm, which is based on Soul Heat, or Cleansing Conflagration, which I kind of forget all the time what this does. Doesn't really fit into our build. Apply 1 affliction to a random enemy. Deal 4 purification to all targets for each affliction they have. Increases soul heat by 1 for each creature with affliction. Yeah, it doesn't really serve us too well. Solid first turn there. Kind of forgot to explain my reasoning there, but I feel it was quite straightforward. I just wanted to build up soul heat so I could use that Bahenian Howl once I build up some soul heat. That was basically it. So I know I keep talking about this over the course of, different videos. So I'm sure that I sound like a broken record at this point, but seeming like I'm gonna have to curb my streaming for a while, most likely until it cools down in the weather. It's simply just too hot to reliably stream and not have some kind of performance issues or something. I mean, even now, while I'm recording this, I keep seeing a little bit of lag every once in a while, which didn't used to always happen. It's been happening recently, but it didn't always happen, so I think it's partially the heat, partially my GPU, the driver that I'm using. So I think I'm gonna have to just not stream for a while. Once I get done with this recording session, I'll just have to, wait on all of that, like I said, until it cools down, most likely. Just kind of gotta get this out so I can upload stuff for the rest of the week, but stuff's gotta pause for a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, just gonna be, on pause for a while. I'm not like quitting streaming or quitting making videos. It's just you know, not a great time for me to be doing so. I'll put it in like the descriptions of my channels and all of that, so if anybody finds my channels, they know where I'm at, but I'll try to keep making as much content as I can, but just too hot. Too hot. My laptop's not good enough to handle it. Gotta, you know, roll with the punches. Call it off for a while. Looks like we're gonna actually make it out of this fight this time. Last time we just made some bad decisions and somehow couldn't make it out of this fight, but looks like we're having some better luck now. Let's see, it seems like you're going to be over-corrupted this turn, so you're going to deal 4 damage to us. As long as I just heal up, I should be safe. Alright, just kind of zoned out there for a minute. I'm realizing just how easy these fights are going to be because we're not on anomaly level. Pretty nice, I would say. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that this doesn't end up killing me here. And there we go. Okay. We're good. So, while I'm on this kind of break, I call it a break, but really, I'm probably gonna be behind the scenes worrying about how to get my, you know, stream quality back up and running, and all of that. But I'm probably going to look into different games I want to play in the future. So, you know, after I'm done with this game, because we are somewhat approaching the end of it. I thought we'd eventually get through Tina's Wonderlands first, but you guys know how that went now. So, you know, I don't think we're going to get through Borderlands anytime soon. So it's looking like we're going to get through this game first and have to replace it with something. And at the moment, my first choice for replacing this game, I'm thinking, is going to be Disco Elysium. Mostly because I've just been recommended to play it, and I have heard good things about it. So I don't really mind playing it, because I've never seen the game before. I don't know anything about it.